Hi everyone, this is Z here, and today I want to talk to you about bridging the last mile in data analytics. A couple of months ago, I put up an article on LinkedIn, and it is about data supply chains. And I work in a supply chain. And basically, if you care about supply chain data, then you need to start caring about your data supply chain. And in the article, I talked about a very established model in the world of supply chain management called the SCORE model, and applying the same kind of physical goods supply chain thinking to a data supply chain. And extending that idea a little bit, I wanted to talk about the last mile and the problem of last mile logistics. Now, this is a known challenge in the world of physical supply chains where you may have an entire chain of activities that you need to actually do, all the way from manufacturing a good to how you transport it from one country to the other. And typically it goes into some sort of final sorting warehouse. And this is where it really gets interesting because that last piece called the last mile is really hard to actually do right because usually when you are transporting it, it is huge in volumes, and but ultimately, you're moving a lot of stuff all at once. But when you get to these kind of distribution centers, usually it gets more complex because you actually need to put it into the hands of your customer, and there's more variability in what you need to manage, and this is not a straightforward thing, and a topic in itself. So from the context of data and analytics, this is equally true because much like a physical supply chain, you will have data sources that you use to aggregate, clean up, and transform. And these things usually become things like data models. Sometimes the data models are used to develop visualizations. Sometimes those visualizations may be summarized for easy consumption in a report. And throughout all this, you are trying to get to some form of an insight. But I would argue that actually the insight is an interim deliverable, because what you really want to get to is value for the business. And to do that, you actually need people to do something with the insight, either take a decision or take an action. And there is the last mile of data analytics, because the two challenges you have is a gap to insight, where everything great has been produced. You spend a lot of time actually building data lakes, data warehouses, visualization systems, but at the end, you find that people are actually not adopting it. In some cases, there's also the gap from an insight to the value, which to me is the gap to applying the insights, which is a slightly different problem, where you've got people getting the insight, but then it becomes quite hard to actually do something with. And I want to suggest an acronym where if you don't want your data analytics to die a death, you need to look at death. And that sounds very cryptic, but it's about this acronym that I've come up with, D.E.A.T.H. And the first of that is discoverability. So if you want to solve the last mile, you need to have insights that are easy to find, and easy to access, and that you don't have to go through 17 IT tickets in order to get the right access to see it. It needs to be explainable. So it needs to be something that people can navigate, people can understand. If there's a conclusion to a report, that it's clear how that conclusion was reached. Applicability, and some might argue applicability should be the very first step, but I put it here because I wanted to get the acronym right. But applicability is around business context. Is the question of who it's for clear? And so what? This is solve a problem that matters to the business. It's great that you have a dashboard, but how does that help? The next bit is on trustability, in terms of you can have all these three elements, but even if you have a conclusion that is easy to follow, people can get hold of it, and it tries to answer a business question, is the underlying source of that data accurate? Is it up to date? Is it traceable? If people want to find out, where did this come from? Who provided this? How did this get kind of verified. And the final one is the how now ability. And I have to admit, this is a bit of a forced acronym, but the how now ability is after everything that we've gone through, beyond the so what, how now is important because you want to get people to act on it, to actually start making a decision. And sometimes this is about making sure that those analytics are embedded into a workflow or they are part of a natural business process where you direct people to go somewhere to get that guidance in terms of what they need to do. So it's not straightforward, but if you want to actually help uh, people close the gap to value from data, you need to actually deal with depth in data analytics. And it takes some doing, but if you get it right, you can actually build that bridge that closes the last mile. So I had an article that I posted up in LinkedIn on this topic that I've now updated a little bit to cover what I just shared. And if you like this kind of content, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.